Should have thought about this the other day. This was a Christmas present. And I'm really keen to learn how to use it. I tried a little device like this years ago, but it was absolutely unstable. You could not make stable footage out of it. As soon as you moved, it was terrible. So I never used it. But then that also means I have to learn how to edit and stuff from a computer, which I've never done. All the videos I make are just on my phone. Anyway, I've got that thing charging up. Eventually I'll get around to reading how to use it and all the rest of it, and then we'll go from there. In the meantime, I'm getting back to this master cylinder because I'm enjoying the process now that I'm starting to understand it a bit better. Alrighty, so I've got a video uploading. It's a bit long, but hey, I could not find for the life of me anywhere on YouTube how to pull one of these things apart. So I've been working it out and sharing my experience. As crappy as that is, and as terrible as my filming is, and the fact that I'm not a mechanic. But it worked. Anyway, so I've just got to clean these parts up. There's some little O-ring seals here, which are the 3 that I've got left there. They go in that component after I've cleaned it and removed the old seals. That's got new seals. That never had a seal. Those seals are all done. They're just O-rings. And then same as on that. Oops. It's just an O-ring. So what I did to get the seals off this one, because they've been replaced, over here, the old dentist tool. So what I did after I scratched out all the crud and stuff that was in there, I just carefully, which I'm not going to do here for risk of damaging the seal, I just slipped it in behind there, turned it around carefully, and slowly levered it out. It took a while. It actually took quite a bit of strength. They're surprisingly difficult to get off. That's quite a large lip. So I'll clean this one up. I can't film it. It's too bloody hard. But I'll clean it up. That's a seal. That one's an O-ring. There's your seal and the retaining ring there, which is the same as that little retaining ring up there. So same process, clean it up, pull it apart, finish cleaning it, put the new seals on, rinse and repeat over here, then take these back off, clean all this up, and start the process of putting it all back together. And then we'll find out if I've did the right thing or I have to take it to a specialist. Back to it. Now this may be unnecessary, but I'm just blocking off all of the open ports. And I'm just going to gently get, well, I've got a brass brush here, but that's not really doing a lot. But what I'll do is I'll grab my drill out, or my batcher drill. I've got some soft wire wheels, and I'll just carefully just go and get that crud off. I've scraped off the most of it, but I just want to just clean that edge up a little bit nicer. I'm talking about this edge mainly, and then just a little bit down in there. That was where the old leaking brake fluid, excuse me, it's where the old leaking brake fluid was coming out. Like I said, probably not necessary. Well, I'm sure it isn't, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay, I'll get that done, then I'll get them cleaned up. I'm not going to film all the rest of this. It's the same process as what I've already been doing. Clean it up, take the seals out, replace it, put it back together. And then I'm going to work out how to bench bleed it. Let's go. And there we go. Drill with a wire wheel. Safety glasses, of course. Tidied up the mess. Sort of moved everything up this end. I'll work over here, so I'm not flinging crap towards the stuff I've just finished cleaning. Then I'll do the other side, and probably just call it at that. I really don't care if it's got little bits and pieces on it, like marks and whatever. Who cares? I just want that surface just to be a little bit cleaner than it is. Right, I'm not going to film that because I definitely need 2 hands. Let's get it done. Turn that off. That took all of a minute. Just very carefully going around it while I will. That's done. That's good enough for me. Now I'll get back to that. Alright, the sun is coming straight through the skylight. They're off. Now the only thing I'd say to take note and be very careful of is this little plastic ring. It takes quite a bit of persuasion to get it to pop up over that lip. So what I was doing with that, hey, come here, is with that little tooth scraper thing, I just carefully worked it in behind, very slowly turned it and worked my way around until the lip popped up off the edge, and then used a thin flat blade screwdriver just to gently pry my way around behind it, and it popped straight off. The seals came off. That O-ring is cooked. So that's those 2 seals in that O-ring, the retainer, and then just a couple more O-rings on here. And then it's time to put it all back together. Oh, I did clean that up, but I think I filmed that. So there you go. They're all done, cleaned, replaced. It's just those 2. That looks a bit manky. I'll see if I can clean that up. Quick reference back to the manual. Manuel, relay instructions. In other words, read. So I'll just quickly gloss over that because I'm pretty sure it's just those 2 last seals, and then we're good to go. Okay, they're off. They broke. So the thinner one and the thicker one, same. So that one and then one behind there. I'm still going to try and clean that up first, and then that'll be that. Alright, just gave it a quick brush. The old brush. With the brass brush. The old brass brush. Anyway, that's about as good as it's going to get because I don't want to damage any coatings or anything like that. And put it back together. Okay, so I rolled this one on. Just held this little collar hard up against the shaft there. Rolled it on. That's fine. And I put the bigger one, which matched that size, but it is stupidly loose. It was just flopping around. So that obviously doesn't go here. So this one, that will definitely fit there. I'll try it. And what I'm thinking is, this last one here, being that it's somewhat larger, probably goes on this brake warning switch, because that's about the same size. I'll check it out, but I'm pretty sure that's how it goes, and that leaves me with no O-rings left. So that would make sense to me. Alright, yep, that's definitely how it goes, because that fits beautifully. And so does that. That was the only O-ring that had nowhere to go, so it makes perfect sense that it was going there. That was dripping. They're the only 2 new ones I have left. We know where they go, and we know where that goes. Right? And that's everything I pulled out. And I've used the whole seal kit. Well done. Now let's put stuff back together. Alright, I've given the body of it a complete clean up, brake cleaner, air compressor. I've turned everything around so it makes more sense when you're looking at it straight on. Everything from here goes in this side, that stuff goes in the other side. Then you put these in place, put those grommets back in place on top, put that back in place, bolt it in, and it's all back together. Then I need to work out how to bench bleed it. That's not a problem until I get there. Alright, let's keep doing stuff. Alright, I rearranged it so it's pointing down. I just think it's going to be easier, because otherwise the spring's going to fall out at the end of this, blah blah blah. Now, in reading the book, oh, my sunlight's going away, bugger. it says coat all of your new seals with some fresh brake fluid to the right spec, which is .3 in this particular case. So I'm not going to film with this, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to carefully apply some brake fluid around here. Obviously slip the spring in first and get all this back in position, following the same procedures. Okay. Alright. So I'll reverse the angle again. I got the first piston in, no worries, with it facing down so the spring didn't slip out and foul up and all that. Then I got this one in, but on the downward angle I couldn't hold it and get the little circlip back in place, so I just changed the angle. That's quite difficult. I had to sit the circlip on the face, press like crazy with my thumb to get it compressed in, and then use with my other hand the circlip pliers, inserted it, made sure that's pushing in and stopping, made sure the circlip is sealed and it's not going to pop out and send bits flying everywhere, and it worked. On to the next bit. Alrighty, so I'll just pause for a second, I'll put this in. So what I did, here's the Allen key that fits that, right? So I got the next size down, lined everything up, got the pistons and everything in place, pushed this in until there was no load on the cap, and then gently, while pushing that in with one hand, got this thread to seat, because obviously you don't want to cross thread it. You're going to end up in a whole world of hurt. So pushed it in through there, because that pushes directly on. This is a hollow, this goes all the way through, there's no bottom to this part. So pushed it in, I'm assuming that's why it's like that. Compress the piston, tighten this up just by hand, 3 or 4 threads, and now I can do it up using the Allen key. That side's in, this side's in, tighten him up, finish the top, put it back together, put the rest of it on, and Bob's your auntie. Something like that anyway. Alright, I really want to turn the lights on, but it's freaking my camera out. I don't know if I need to do this, but it says to lube it all up, so that's what we're doing. There we go. I'll wipe off the excess afterwards. Okay. I hope I was recording the right bit, because I wasn't actually looking at my phone. That's pretty typical. That's sitting a bit wonky. Let me fix that one up. Stand by. Alright, there we go. That's sitting in nice. That's sitting in nice. Give another dab for this little guy. Okay. He threads into there. Like so. Tighten him up. Then I can put the master back on, reservoir back on, and then this bit will go on last because it goes underneath and it's plastic and I don't want to risk breaking it. Softly, softly, catchy monkey. Nice. And there you have it. I don't know if I can do this one-handed. Nah, I need 2 hands. Anyway, because they're going to be tight because they're brand new. I should probably clean the bottom of that. Got a couple of specks on it. Anyway, put the reservoir back on, work out how I'm going to bench bleed it. Job done. Put everything back together, bleed all the brakes, blah blah blah. I'm going to need a second pair of hands for that, so that's probably not going to be today. It's actually not that bad. For someone who has no idea what he's doing as far as this goes, I'm mechanically minded, I'm not a mechanic, it wasn't too bad. Bit of thought, take your time, don't rush. If you don't understand something, do some research. I did a bunch of that last night. I stopped working on this at about 6 or 7 PM. Not because I was getting frustrated, but because I didn't understand quite what I needed to do next. So I stopped, I come back out this morning, had me a cup of coffee, read through the manual step by step again, and then proceeded from there. So far, seems to be working out. Like I said, we get it bench bled. I don't know if that's going to tell me if it works or doesn't work. At the end of the day, we'll get that done. I've still got to clean up the inside of the engine bay, so it's definitely not going to get finished today. I've got a whole bunch of mess to clean up in there. Get that all done. Once I've finished this process, I can wrap that up, make sure it's dust proof. That's fine. And then get it back in the car. Like I said, bleed the brakes. It's got brand new front discs and pads on it. All that already done. All sorts of new rubbers, bushes, and all sorts of things under the front end. There's videos on that. And hopefully I did the right thing and it works. And the worst case scenario, if I didn't do the right thing and it doesn't work, I can still pay a professional to get it done. At the end of the day, I've had a go. I'm happy with that. I couldn't find any videos on YouTube other than my own and some really old crusty ones that really didn't explain 3/5 of stuff all. So hopefully this is helpful to someone down the road. If not, too bad, because I had fun making it. I'm going to leave it at that. Have a good one. Ta-da, mate. Last tidbit. That took quite a bit of compression force to get that to go back into those brand new seals. Quite a lot. I'm 6 foot tall. I ain't no weakling. That took quite a bit. So I ended up using my hand, cupping it underneath, compressing it against the bench, so I wasn't hopefully overstressing anything. It still took quite a bit of force. Anyway, washer's back in, just with the nuts. I don't know if I've mentioned it. If you're having trouble getting a nut started, lightly put it on there and with the other finger steady it and just turn it backwards. And eventually you'll feel it where you get to the very start thread. You'll feel it, it'll sort of click into place, it'll sit flat, and then just very gently, I've only just literally threaded that on. There we go. Very gently. Right, it should take no effort. If it's taking effort, something's wrong. You've either got a dirty thread, gold up thread, or you're cross-threading something. If you can't just turn it, you've got a problem. Goes without saying, I guess, but that's how it works. I'll leave you with that thought. Have a great one. Ta-da, mate.